Sally and Aristotle's surprising romance. Will Billy's partnership be trouble? According to spoilers on The Young and the Restless, Sally Spectra and Aristotle Dumas may be planning a surprise romance. Billy Abbott's alliance may cause problems, so let's discuss how this could play out. It's clear that cracks are beginning to appear in Billy and Sally's relationship, especially now that he's lying to her about his plans with Aristotle. Sally and Adam Newman's relationship ended due to secrets and deceit, and the same destiny may await Sally and Billy. However, it is noteworthy that Aristotle is being inserted into Billy and Sally's tale. We can see the possibility of a love quartet involving Phyllis Summers, given how much Billy has been drawn to her recently. The closer Billy and Phyllis become, the more likely it is that Sally will find a new love interest and embark on her own romantic journey. There has also been some Y&R talk regarding a mysterious man who appears in Sally's way down the road. Sally may start up a discussion with someone at the pub without realizing he is Aristotle once he arrives in Genoa City. Of course, no one has seen a picture of Aristotle, and there is no evidence of his actual age. It's possible that Aristotle is much younger than people know, or that he has a son who has climbed through the ranks to take his post by now. Aristotle Jr. could be heading to town, especially since Y&R is maintaining a tight lid on Billy Flynn's new role. Whatever the case, Sally is suspicious of Aristotle, and will continue to make predictions about the unfolding drama. You can bet Sally will find out the real truth about Billy and Aristotle's collaboration soon. It would be soapy if all of this resulted in Sally's eventual romance with Aristotle, so perhaps sparks will ignite, especially if Billy strays from Phyllis and gives Sally reason to seek consolation elsewhere. According to The Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy's relationship with Aristotle may cause more issues than he bargained for. So stay tuned for more stunning news. On the most recent episode of Young and Restless, Sally advised Billy that he has a tell. As it turns out, the soap works as well. If you were paying careful attention, you might have noticed a hint as to why Silly will soon be heading to Splitsville. Billy saved Phyllis's life, and she will undoubtedly become a continual thorn in Sally's side as Abbott Communications grows. However, this may not be the primary reason for their breakup. In reality, Phyllis might have nothing to do with it at all. Billy and Sally are interrupted by Phyllis Y&R. In recent episodes of The Young and the Restless, we found that Billy is working with Aristotle Dumas, who has a history of competing with Victor Newman for company acquisitions. The mustache informed Michael that he had beaten Dumas on multiple occasions, which we're guessing didn't sit well with the entrepreneur. Dumas blew up Billy's phone. Sally was surprised, and she quizzed her boyfriend about it. The core of Billy's account is that the reclusive entrepreneur approached him unexpectedly and won him over by sympathizing with the horrible treatment he experienced from Victor and Jill over Abbott Chancellor. Despite this, Billy took a significant risk by lying to his love interest. Billy misled Sally into believing that Dumas was not involved in his new communications business, but a late-night phone call to the Big Will showed that he is, in fact, reporting back to Dumas on his progress prior to the launch. It was unclear during the interview whether the mogul had made a financial investment in Abbott Communications, but it was evident that they had reached an agreement. Billy mentioned a quid pro quo situation they had discussed, telling him, "I've got the quid if you've got the quo." Billy's update to Dumas on his progress implies he is more active in Abbott Communications than Sally initially believed, and he said nothing about a quid pro quo agreement. Sally sensed something was up and baited the hook persistently, but Billy purposefully left her fishing in the dark. It's known as a lie of omission. Text reads, "Subscribe to the soap's Young and Restless newsletter. Get breaking news alerts, daily recaps, exclusive interviews, and spoilers delivered directly to your inbox. https://cloud.email.soaps.com/signup." Unfortunately for the future of their relationship, the falsehoods are beginning to mount up. Billy explicitly told Sally that he did not intend to use Abbott Communications to pursue Victor and Adam, yet that is exactly what he is doing. Now he's told a lie by omission about collaborating with, or accepting assistance from Victor's opponent, Dumas. As Sally pointed out throughout their talk, Billy made a big deal about them not holding secrets and being honest with each other. so it's easy to see how he's preparing himself for a one-way trip to Splitsville. Billy and Sally talk about preserving Phyllis YNR. Following Adam's deception to Sally and gaslighting her about his one-night fling with Chelsea, additional lies from the only man who understands how profoundly that wounded her will not go over well. If Sally becomes angry and angered by Billy's friendship with Phyllis, only to discover that he lied to her on a regular basis, we don't see their possibilities. Claire and Kyle's rebellion, Tracy's startling realization, Tracy's panic. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Wednesday, March 26, 2025 are available. Fans should expect Claire Grace Newman and Kyle Abbott to breach the rules tomorrow. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman and Tracy Abbott bond over Alan Loran. Continue reading, and let's discuss what's coming up on the CBS soap drama. Tracy Abbott panics. On Wednesday, March 26, fans should anticipate Tracy to be upset. Even though Alan, aka Martin Loran, offered his fiancée a cover story regarding the phone notifications, things don't seem right. Tracy is delighted to marry Alan, but she quickly finds he may not be the man she believes he is. In fact, Tracy discusses it in the weekly preview video. Something happens that causes Tracy to become frantic, and she tells Jack Abbott that she is unsure who the man claiming to be Alan really is. Sharon Newman's connection. Tracy's anxiety could be attributed to her relationship with Sharon. Sharon appears to help Tracy connect the dots concerning Alan. It's unclear how these two met, possibly at a coffee shop. It's also possible that Sharon overhears Tracy and Jack discussing it. If Sharon hears the word clinic, she may ask if there is a connection. Clearly, there is no proof yet. Tracy doesn't want to endanger her planned wedding, but if something smells fishy, she won't be able to relax until it's resolved. However, simply asking questions could endanger her life. I'm very sure Alan went to Paris a few days before Tracy to set up the real experiment. However, I am unsure whether the intended target is Tracy or someone else. If the bride-to-be gets too close to the truth, Alan may take drastic steps. Nikki Newman and Jack Abbott's conflict. Nikki from YNR has a different point of view. This debate will be with Jack, so it must be about the Newman/Abbott battle. Perhaps it's about Kyle and Claire. Victor Newman is determined to correct Claire's mistake of being with Kyle. However, nothing Victor is doing appears to be working. So maybe Jack and Nikki talk about Victor's influence in Claire and Kyle's romance. Claire Grace Newman's rebellion. Claire and Kyle will breach the rules. It's unclear what they do, although it's probably nothing illegal or particularly bad. Perhaps they broke the rules by taking a peep at the Abbott mansion renovations. In any event, it's likely to be something cute, rather than something that would permanently alter their life. With all of the heavy turmoil, it will be good to see some romantic scenes with the pair. Which narrative are you looking forward to the most? Share your opinions in the comments area below. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, March 25th suggest that your favorite GC characters will face some surprising revelations, especially Victor Newman, who has important information to impart. Let us start with Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers. A strange twist of fate has brought these two longtime enemies together as best friends. Days after being liberated from a temporary prison, the ladies must face reality. Phyllis and Sharon have a difficult conversation about what they experienced while being held hostage together. Phyllis and Sharon confront reality. Sharon and Phyllis rescued each other's lives while they were in prison. With Nick Newman's concept in mind, they must now determine what to do next. He was one of their saviors, and he does not want the good that resulted from their circumstance to be lost. Can Sharon and Phyllis agree to keep the love fest going despite decades of disagreement? It would be a shame if they couldn't bury the hatchet. If anyone can persuade them, it's their common ex Nick. Fans will witness Phyllis and Sharon attempt to define their new normal, and it will be interesting to see where this uneasy relationship leads. Sharon and Phyllis traveled to Hades and back. Meanwhile, Victor has information for Lily Winters. It could be about what lawyer Michael Baldwin learned while investigating strange businessman Aristotle Dumas. Victor is unsure of Aristotle's goal, but he recognizes that he is a strong foe. Can Lily and Devon Winters help him gain the upper hand over Ari? That's kind of rich given Victor's recent exploitation of Lily, but nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So who exactly is Aristotle Dumas? Devon is a cautious worrier. Therefore he may respond negatively to Victor's news and appeal. Now that he and Nate Hastings are on good terms, Ari could be the next person Nate goes to fight with. At the same time, Nate and Damien Kane are connecting, which catches Devon's attention. After all, Damien has ties to Aristotle, and he may question if Damien is playing all of them. Explosive according to the Young and the Restless spoilers, Devon's skeptical mind is on overdrive, which is virtually likely to exacerbate tensions within his family. Sally had always been the practical one, organized, disciplined, and fiercely independent. As the manager of a bustling downtown cafe, she thrived on routine. Every morning, she arrived at work precisely at 5:30 a.m., checked inventory, and greeted her regulars with the same warm smile. Life was predictable, and she liked it that way. Then Aristotle walked in, tall, tousled dark hair, and a disarming grin. He was the exact opposite of everything Sally usually found appealing. He was an artist, a painter to be exact, who had just moved into the loft above the cafe. He ordered black coffee with a shot of espresso, which he called his morning adrenaline, and always left a generous tip, even when his wallet was clearly thin. At first, Sally dismissed him as just another charming but unreliable creative type. But then, one rainy afternoon, Aristotle lingered after closing time, sketching in the corner booth. When Sally finally shooed him out, he handed her the drawing, a stunning lifelike portrait of her, mid-laugh, sunlight catching the gold in her hair. "Just something to remember me by," he said with a wink before disappearing into the rain. Sally's heart did something strange, it fluttered. Chapter 2. The Unlikely Connection. Against her better judgment, Sally found herself looking forward to Aristotle's visits. He brought chaos into her structured world, showing up late, forgetting his wallet, and leaving paint smudges on the counter. But he also brought life. He made her laugh, challenged her rigid routines, and most dangerously, made her feel seen in a way no one else ever had. One evening, after a particularly grueling shift, Aristotle convinced her to take a break and join him on the rooftop of the cafe. They sat under the stars sharing stories, Sally about her strict upbringing and her fear of failure, Aristotle about his nomadic childhood, and his belief that art was meant to be messy. "You're so controlled," he mused, studying her. "What are you afraid of?" Sally hesitated. "Losing control." Aristotle grinned. "Maybe you should try it sometime." And then, before she could overthink it, he kissed her. Chapter 3. Billy's Big Plan. Enter Billy, Sally's older brother, overprotective and perpetually skeptical. A no-nonsense businessman, Billy had always looked out for Sally, especially after their parents passed away. When he heard about Aristotle, he was immediately suspicious. "An artist? Really, Sal? Those guys never stick around," Billy scoffed over dinner one night. Sally rolled her eyes. "Not everyone is as calculating as you, Billy." But Billy wasn't one to let things go. He had recently partnered with a powerful investor to expand his real estate empire, and part of that plan involved buying out the block where Sally's cafe stood. When he discovered Aristotle's loft was part of the deal, he saw an opportunity to protect his sister by getting rid of the distraction. Chapter 4. Trouble Brewing. Billy's business partner, the ruthless entrepreneur Vincent Cole, had his own agenda. He wanted the entire block demolished to build luxury condos, and he didn't care who stood in his way. When Billy hesitated, knowing Sally's cafe would be collateral damage, Vincent turned up the pressure. Meanwhile, Aristotle stumbled upon the plans when he overheard Vincent's associates talking at a bar. He rushed to Sally, but before he could explain, Billy intercepted him. "Stay away from my sister," Billy warned. "And stay out of my business." Aristotle, never one to back down, shot back. "Maybe you should ask Sally what she wants." Chapter 5. Betrayal and Choices. When Sally found out about Billy's plans, she was devastated. "You were going to destroy my cafe, my life." Billy tried to justify it. "I was going to set you up somewhere better. You deserve more than this place." "But it's mine," Sally said, voice breaking. Aristotle stood by her, but tensions escalated when Vincent made his move, sending thugs to vandalize the cafe in the middle of the night. Aristotle, caught defending the place, was arrested after a scuffle. Chapter 6. The Fight for Love and the Cafe. Sally had spent her life avoiding risks, but now she had no choice. She bailed Aristotle out, confronted Vincent, and even stood up to Billy in a way she never had before. "You don't get to decide what's best for me," she told her brother. "And if you really care, you'll help me save my cafe and the man I love." Billy, seeing the fire in her eyes, finally relented. Using his business connections, he helped expose Vincent's shady dealings, stopping the demolition. Epilogue: A new beginning. With the cafe safe, Sally and Aristotle's relationship grew stronger. She learned to embrace spontaneity. He learned the value of commitment. And Billy? He became Aristotle's most reluctant, but fiercest, ally. 1 year later, on the cafe's rooftop, Aristotle proposed under the same stars where they'd shared their first kiss. Sally, no longer afraid of losing control, said yes. As for Billy, he just shook his head, muttering, "An artist. Really, Sal?" But this time he was smiling.